What is far deadlier than most people realize? Serious. A Brazilian butt lift, BBL, gives people a figure reminiscent of the Kardashians and is hugely popular for getting that Instagram body. But a paper in the Aesthetic Surgery Journal found that 1 in 3 BBLs resulted in death, making it the world's most dangerous cosmetic procedure. Grapefruit in combination with many prescription drugs. Basically, grapefruit can affect the way your medications work. With some meds, adding grapefruit screws up the way your body metabolizes the drug, so you end up with far more than the prescribed dosage. It can also work in the opposite way with other drugs, leaving you with less than the prescribed dosage. This is especially bad if you have high blood pressure or arrhythmia. This article on the FDA site explains it way better. FDA, Gov, Consumers, Consumer Updates, grapefruit juice and some drugs don't mix. Trucker here. I've had 2 blood clots in my legs from driving long distances and having my leg pressed against the corner of the seat for hours on end. One almost killed me. Apparently it's very common with truckers. You're supposed to stop and walk around every hour and a half to keep things circulating, which almost nobody does due to time constraints. The same thing happens in gaming chairs apparently. People forget to move their legs because they're so focused on the game. You don't need to worry so much if you're younger. But if you're a gamer who's a little older, please be aware. Quit drinking. Been an EMT for a while and work with a lot of the homeless population. Will gets calls for people who decided today is the day to finally quit drinking and do it cold turkey. As soon as the next morning people can present with delirium tremens. Severe withdrawals can induce seizures and can also lead to death. A lot of these people will think because they quit hard drugs like heroin or meth cold turkey alcohol would be the same without knowing the major effects it can have on your health. Edit. Guess I should add this is only for people with alcohol dependency and not all your casual or even heavier drinkers. Testicular torsion. Don't be embarrassed to ask for help. In all honesty, the embarrassment is all in your head. Doctors and nurses really don't give a frock. They really don't care, and aren't judging you one bit. They have seen everything, and then some more. But they will judge you if you make the foolish decision not to seek help cause of made-up embarrassment and lose your balls. The pain might not be severe, but you have a few hours tops before your balls die. Edit. To put some numbers to this, if you wait longer than 6 hours, permanent damage may occur. After 12 hours, there's a 75% chance of losing the testicle. Source: Medical News Today. Com. Articles, 190,514. Grapefruit juice interacts with a lot of medications and could be very harmful to you depending on the medications you take. Get that UTI handled or get a nasty kidney infection. Penile fracture. If this happens to you, do not hesitate to get medical help. 12 weeks ago this happened to me. The tissue that fills with blood and makes the penis erect can fracture when impacted awkwardly. Bend at 45 degrees and a huge hematoma and swelling. I went the ed and after the poor student doctor saw it, I was rushed into hospital. I was informed if it wasn't surgically fixed it could mean necrosis and removal. The surgical procedure involved degloving the penis, removing the hematoma, stitching up the fractured tissue under the skin and then stitching the skin back on. Still having nerve pain, not mention the effect it's had on our sex life. Essential oils. Do not put them in your food. They are not made to be food safe. Holding your breath while scuba diving. To most people who don't scuba dive it may sound harmless, but if you hold your breath and ascend even a little over a meter you can suffer major lung damage as a result of the gas in your lungs expanding from the lessening pressure. Oleander. Nerium. In fact, it's one of the most common ornamental plants in Southern California, planted in people's backyards and along freeways. The only problem is it's one of the most poisonous plants in the world. Toxic compounds include neriocide, oleandroside, and saponins. Canoeing. People misjudge currents all the time. 12-year-old girl died here just last weekend. Touching. Sit inside a guitar amp can frock you up really bad. It holds a charge, and it all comes out at once if you touch the wrong spot. Going for runs on the roads at night without wearing lights or reflectors. Oftentimes people even wear black. They think that just because they can see the car that the car can see them. It only takes one accident to change someone's life completely. A hangnail. Yes, seriously, I had a hangnail once. It got infected. It became swollen and inflamed. The swelling sealed it shut. The abscess became worse. I went to urgent care. They took one look at my finger and sent me to the ER. I was becoming septic. I spent about 36 hours in the hospital. Then home for 2 months of antibiotics. I could have died. Visine. People seem to have this idea that a few drops of Visine in someone's drink will give them diarrhea, and do it to prank each other, or get some sort of satisfaction with petty revenge. People are sitting in prison for murder for doing this. The main active ingredient is called tetrahydrozoline. Once it enters your gastrointestinal tract, It can be absorbed by your intestines and end up in your blood, causing your blood pressure and heart rate to drop to potentially life-threatening levels. It really makes me wonder how many people have died due to people copycatting that scene in Wedding Crashers. Acetaminophen. It's rough on your liver in large doses. I know a lot of people who ignore the recommended dose and pop them like they are Skittles for pain. This is incredibly dangerous. Medline Plus. Gov. NC. Article 002598. HTM. Engulfment and confined spaces. With confined spaces, people usually don't realize that O2 runs out rather quickly. Engulfment because people probably don't think about essentially drowning in non-liquids. Digging and playing in holes on the beach like I used to love to do as a kid. They cave in and smother kids. Dangers in the sand. Obsessed teeth can kill you. Eating a slug. Obviously it's nasty. But kids do stupid sit-as dares or even in hazing rituals. Slugs contain parasites that will get into your brain and frocking kill you slowly. Tylenol. It's actually a lot easier to overdose on than most people realize. And it slowly destroys your liver over a period of days. Not a fun way to die, to put it lightly. Real black licorice root extract contains the natural sweetener glycyrrhizin, which is over 50 times sweeter than sucrose. This ingredient has various pharmaceutical properties. It acts as an expectorant, facilitating removal of mucus from the lungs by coughing. And it increases blood pressure. The latter effect can become significant with a daily consumption of 50 grams or more of licorice candy for as little as 2 weeks. Glycyrrhizin can cause potassium levels in the body to fall, triggering abnormal heart rhythms, as well as high blood pressure, edema, swelling, lethargy, and congestive heart failure in some people. Lack of sleep. Increased risk of basically everything you can think of. Not to mention that accidents are far more common when you're tired. The less sleep you get, the shorter your lifespan. Infections can still frock you up easily if you don't seek medication attention in time. Doing cocaine on birth control pills. Seen 20-somethings wind up with strokes and DVTs. Not sure if it's been said, but untreated sleep apnea. You literally stop breathing and get little quality sleep. The stress on your cardiovascular system is immense. Get tested. Period. Then wear the CPAP no matter how unsexy it is. Or maybe surgery to eliminate or reduce the problem. Touchscreen consoles in cars. Mazda now disables touch functionality in their vehicles because they found that when drivers interact with the touchscreen they drift the vehicle to the right, taking your eyes off the road to press 3 buttons in 3 different positions on the touchscreen, with a latency each time you press a button, because your seat heaters are literally burning your ass. While trying to maintain control of the vehicle during freeway traffic is goddamn dangerous. Insulin. Looking at drops on a table, you can barely tell the difference between the therapeutic dose and a lethal one. Edit: if anyone can find the actual image of 2 doses of insulin on a table, I'd super appreciate it. I was going to post the link for reference, but I couldn't find it. Shift work. The disturbance in your circadian rhythm takes years off your life. Exploring abandoned places. When I was a kid I would do it all the time and take photos without any form of facial protection. Fast forward years later and I learn about how toxic certain molds can be. How many older buildings used materials like asbestos which can be in the air when places are left to rot, etc. At this point I just thank God I never had to deal with the aftermath of any of that. Also, to anyone who enjoys doing this, I get it. I just want to bring awareness to the fact that if you participate, a respirator and goggles should be a must. Also, as a side note, be wary of scrappers and individuals looking for a place to do drugs. Had a run-in like that during one of the last excursions I made and it's not fun. Throwing a single punch. Here in Australia it's been criminalized because fights in pubs and clubs are pretty common. The single punch isn't what causes injury, but falling to the ground and hitting their head on the curb can kill, especially since drunk people usually don't have the capacity to soften their fall. Think twice before you risk taking a life over losing your pride for a night. Medication. Those dosages on the labels are not just suggestions, y'all. Rusty sharp objects. Ugly, scaring, and the best kind of blood poisoning you can have. Being poor. You can't afford basic healthcare, basic dental, basic decent anything, and your health pays for it. Not going to the dentist can kill you. Not being able to afford medication can kill you. Not being able to afford a day off to rest when you're feeling bad. Being broke doesn't just suck because you can't do fun stuff. Being broke sucks because you have to choose between your health and your immediate well-being. And hard work alone won't lift you out of that deadly negative cycle. Standing under waterfalls. Edit to elaborate. Loose rocks or debris from the river or stream above could fall and crush you. Vacation. particularly in nature if you're not used to being in nature. There's a book called Death in Yellowstone and talks about all the weird ways people have died there. Walking off cliffs, falling trees, falling into boiling water. There's the obvious wildlife attacks, but there's plenty of less obvious ways. The thing is, people are relaxing for once on vacation and they put themselves in different environments than they're used to. They have their guards down. Deer, over 120 people a year die from deer directly, and another 175 to 200 from car accidents caused by deer, with some 10,000 injuries, and more deaths and injuries related to deer hunting. By the way, deer are pretty mean and terrible parents. I have seen a deer push her fawn ahead of her near the food, to see if there is a predator. Then, if the fawn is okay, go out and hit the fawn to get at the food herself. Birthdays. You are 8% more likely to die on your birthday than on any other day of the year. Leaving potatoes for too long produces solanine gas that can kill. Sitting for long lengths of time. Edit. This got a bit more popular than expected. To elaborate, recent studies have shown that prolonged sitting can be linked to heart disease, type 2 diabetes, depression and some cancers. Generally getting up and walking around every 1 to 2 hours is a good thing. This is the Australian governmental advice page. SafeWork Australia. Gov. Oh, sedentary. And here's the British NHS advice. NHS. UK. Live well, exercise. Why sitting too much is bad for us. Hippos. They kill more people in Africa than lions do. Liquid oxygen. It allows fire to reach such insane heat that it will burn through steel. Not melt, burn. Falling down. A single mild fall can easily kill you if you happen to land just right, usually on the back of your head. Choking during sex. There are right and wrong way to do it, and people definitely don't realize they're doing it the wrong way. Machines. If you get casual around them, they will eat you. Horses. They weigh 1,200 pounds. They're extremely jittery, and they can crush you or kick you to death on accident. And that's just horses in general. Stallions will try to hurt you just to assert dominance, and these are animals that have been known to bite each other's throats out when they fight. Don't mess with horses unless you know what you're doing. Always be careful, even if you do. Putting feet, legs on dash of car. Driving while tired. All you need is that one slow part, or that one part that lulls even a little to put you out. Garage door springs. They will kill you. Table corners, particularly low tables. You fall farther before striking the table, giving a greater impact force. For similar reasons, hard surface floors that are prone to be damp. E.g., tiled floor in a shower. This applies especially if the shower has a nice little built-up threshold between it and the rest of the bathroom. Experience this one firsthand stepping into a shower in a hotel room. Update. Wow, this has blown up. Please, stay safe, friends. Stress. Lack of exercise. Fights. People are way too eager to prove who's the bigger badass. Hit someone the wrong way or start something with the wrong person and someone's not going home. Then if the police show up, someone's getting charged. Depending on the severity of the other party's injuries and the word of witnesses, you could be going away for a very long time. Not to mention the civil suits that may bury you in debt. Having any object loose in your car. If you get in a crash, they all become projectiles, and even a cell phone can kill you. I'm still amazed whenever I go to a cleaning products section and see bleach and ammonia just chilling together. Like, that's a WW1 chemical weapon waiting to happen. Edit. You, unkind potato, left a comment you should check that uses all the science. It's chloramine, not chlorine gas. And there's even a possibility of deadly hydrazine if there's enough ammonia. Science is fun. Reddit. r, AskReddit, comments, NT3Y49. What is far deadlier than most people realize? H0Q9N6A. Toxic relationships. Far too many suicides happen because of bad relationships and no other way out. Cars. Very interesting how much society has normalized the dangers of the road. We often say things like, you're more likely to die in a car accident than blank, which is intended to make blank seem safe, but it really tells us how many people are dying in car accidents all the time. Lathe machines. There's a video straight out of Russia of a man getting caught in one, and within seconds his guts are all over the room. Mosquitoes. Those little f***ckers killed billions of peoples throughout the course of history, by transmitting them deadly diseases. If you see a mosquito, kill it, or it might kill you. I'm an animal control officer, so I have to say dogs. The majority are friendly and sweet, but I've seen some really dangerous dogs and bite cases. The worst was a little black Staffordshire Terrier who ripped the elbow sockets out of a man. He was rushed to surgery, but he'll be alright in the long run. Or another with a 7-month-old baby, who got in the way of a food-aggressive dog and had to have brain surgery. If a dog is big enough, it can absolutely kill you with enough intent. People tend to forget this, and put themselves between two dogs fighting. This is the reason for like 80% of my bite cases. Dogs were fighting or were about to, and the owner thinks they can break it up. Nice. Now I'm worried about everything. Water. Don't drink enough and you die. Drink too much and you die. Breathe in even a little bit and you can die. Drink the wrong kind of water and you die. Seawater or most untreated water these days. Water moves too fast and you can die. Rivers and ocean currents. Water at pressure can cut as fast as a power saw or laser. Apply that to a person and they die. Water in the air can hasten the breeding of any number of very toxic microorganisms. Giving birth. Doing unpredictable things around semi-trucks. Moose. They make look goofy and are herbivorous, but those antlers aren't there just for show. Plus, they are significantly bigger than people give them credit for, reaching up to 6 or even 7 feet at the shoulder, able to weigh over half a ton, and are known to be very territorial and aggressive during mating season, killing more people than bears in Alaska. In a single year, there are 25 more deaths caused by pens than deaths caused by sharks. Everyone has at least one pen in his pencil case, but nobody has a shark in his pencil case. I live on the north coast of CA. People do not take seriously the signs that are posted on the beach regarding sneaker waves. If you are standing along the shoreline and not paying attention, water can rush past and overtake you. So when walking on the beach, keep your head on a swivel and be mindful of the water. Mental abuse at any age. It doesn't matter if you think it's a joke or if others are doing it too. You have no idea what people are going through, and that one comment could be what pushes them over the edge. Even more so if it's a comment on something they are insecure about, or if you're not the only one saying it, or if it's repetitive. Hydraulic injection injuries. A tiny pinprick size injury can easily lead to losing a limb or even death. Constipation. As an RN, I've seen too many people almost die from bowel obstructions. If you haven't pooped in a week, I'd be very concerned if I were you. Edit. How not to die from your own sit. 1. Water plus fiber. Too little water. You die. Too little fiber. You die. Balance is key. 2. Exercise. Stella got her groove back, but you can't get your intestines back when they're necrotic. Edit. And of course, in true Reddit fashion, my highest upvoted comment is about literally dying from sit. You little sits. Thank you for the awards. I love you. That if something falls in, through your body, for example a tree branch fell on you and went through your body, stabbed you, people don't realize that the thing that stabbed you is sealing the wound, so if you take it out you can die. Peanut butter. I've almost choked to death more than once. Edit. It's not usually the Skippy, Jif style stuff, it's the all-natural, gotta stir it up when you open it stuff. This applies to other nut butters too. Seriously, be careful. It's horrifying because it's not even like an object you can just dislodge. Frockin' mooses. Them sits will frock you up. Plus they're like 10 meters tall for no reason at all. Water. Water is frocking dangerous. Window air conditioners. Rabies. Once you start showing symptoms, you are going to die, probably going to die. Edit. Thanks replies. Aspirin will kill you while you are laughing about it only being aspirin. Depression and other mental health problems. Alcoholism. It's all teehee. Mommy needs her wine. And look at this sunscreen bottle that doubles as a secret flask. Until your liver gives out in your mid-40s. It's sad that our culture has made alcoholism into some type of cute joke instead of recognizing how much it can destroy your body and life, and the lives of those around you. Acetaminophen. It's in so many OTC drugs and can really do a number on your liver. A lot of people don't realize when they're sick that they're taking over the recommended daily dose. Brain-eating amoeba in lakes. Bullying. Happens in workplaces all the time. We teach kids about bullying, but we really haven't got a handle on it as adults.